Hi and welcome to another Mixed Media Tuesday, and today I'm going to share a new art journal page on my 6x6 watercolor journal. Now today's inspiration comes from the new Stamperia collection by Altenew, which is called Furry Friends. It's absolutely adorable, and you will find lots and lots of elements that are great for journaling. You can see I have already used it, and I will show you some projects that I already made. If you want to create journaling, then I would suggest to invest on this booklet. It gives you pop-out images, stickers, papers, everything you need. And here is one page that I made. I am going to share this as a reel, so keep watching for this one to come out. I already have made another journal, so this is another one. Again, this is going to be a reel, so you will see that step by step on how I made it. And I did made even more projects. Another short video is going to come up today, and here is a card that I made also. For every project that I'm showing you, you will see how-to videos coming up. So for today, let's play with rice paper, and I'm going to start by choosing a couple of them so that I can do my patchwork technique for the background. This is the best way to start an art journal. If you don't know what to do on your background, just mix and match a couple of rice papers. If you don't have the rice papers, you can recreate the same idea just by using pattern papers at the background. You just need to make sure that you mix a couple of them so that they don't match completely and they give you that patchwork look. Now I usually stick my rice paper with rice paper glue, however lately I am going with a soft and matte glue, which I find works exactly the same for rice paper, so you can use that for which is a more all-purpose glue, and you can use it for other applications as well. So anyway, my rice paper glue was out, so I'm going with this one, since I do have this on my table. As you can see, I'm mixing the greens and the blues. For the blues, I'm mainly going at the top. With the greens, I'm mainly sticking them at the bottom. And notice that I overlap, creating that visual texture. As you can see, one coming through the back of the other. So I am also going to make sure that I cover up everything with my rice paper glue. I also made sure that I don't stick all the way to the edge of the page. You can definitely do that if you like. That's just a design choice. I want to have a little bit of a white border all around. Now making sure that everything is nicely covered, and I am going to also make sure that the glue is completely dry before I move on to the next step. Now I'm going to bring in some acrylic paint. This is ivory, and with a very thick brush, I'm going to apply it. This brush is dry, completely dry, so what I'm doing is actually dry brushing in different areas. This is going to turn your background into looking more artistic, as if you know what you're doing. At the same time, it kind of brings all those rectangles together and they look more coherent. Also, it makes it look not as vibrant as it was, more pale, let's say, so whatever you stick on top of it, it's going to pop no matter what. Since I do have some extra paint on my glass mat, I just added a little bit of water, dilute it, and now I'm adding some splatters because I can never have enough of those. Now I'm going to move on to the next step, and I will do some stamping. I have here the new stamps from the same collection, and I will use this one. Don't use it as it is, as a complete block. It's not going to look nice. What you want to do is to use parts of it. I am using my black archival ink, and I'm just going to use it with my fingers. This way you end up with a more organic look. Imperfection is perfect when you are going for an art journal page. So notice that I'm mainly staying with one part of the stamp, so that I have again a pattern at the background that is more coherent, and I will go and create kind of a frame all around. You see, I went with black, but you can definitely use with more subtle look if you use like a green or a dark blue, the colors that match what you already have on your background, and they don't give as much contrast as the black. It's really a design choice. Now I'm going to use a stencil and volume paste. When you're using your spatula, take the volume paste with the back of the spatula. You don't need a lot. Look how clean the front is. This is the easiest way to spread it along your stencil. Now again, I'm not going to transfer the whole design as it is, but I rather like to use different parts in different areas, again randomly. At this stage I don't know when I'm going to, where I'm going to use the focal points, and to tell you the truth, I don't even know what the focal points are going to be. I just know that I'm just going to use some from that booklet that I showed you in the beginning, from the junk journal booklet. So once I'm happy with what is there, I'm going to go and clean up my stencil. And while I do that, this is going to be dry when I come back, because this is a very thin application of volume paste, and it really dries in less than 5 minutes or so, until I pick up my focal points and clean up my stencil. It's going to be dry. So here I have the booklet, and I'm going to pop out many elements from this one so that I can play around and decide what I want to use as my focal point. So here you can see I'm just popping out the houses, which I'm not going to use on this page after all, but wait for them, I'm going to use them on another page. And then I'm also going to pop out the big flowers, and I will finally go with these ones as my focal points. But in any case, you can just pop out many elements, play along with them, try to create your composition, audition them, and once you are happy, you can just go ahead and stick them down. I also need some stems for my big flowers, so I'm just cutting out some strips from a pattern paper, again from the same junk journal booklet. For sticking them down, again, I'm using my glue that I use for the rice paper, and as I stick everything down, I make sure that I cover it completely with the same glue. I'm doing that because I want to make sure that once I finish and the glue is dry, this is nicely sealed, it's a non-porous surface, so that I can go ahead and use my big brush markers to add some highlights, some shadows, and bring the whole composition into life. Now here, as I was sticking down the red flower, I accidentally made one petal stick completely wrong. Anyway, you can see that it's getting worse, but don't worry about it. Don't tell anyone. I'm going to fix it in a bit. So let's use the heat gun. I'm making sure that this layer of glue is completely dry, and that's when it hit me. I haven't added a quote. So I'm going to go through the same journal and just try to find something that fits my project. I went with the word smile. I think it's perfect for that. I'm just going to audition, try to decide where I want this to go, and then I'm just going to stick it down, again using the same glue. And now it's time to play with my big brush markers. I am going to explain what I'm doing for the technique, since I do have many new people on my channel. So what I like to do here is to use the big brush markers. These are the PITT markers by Faber-Castell. They are semi-transparent, which means that they don't cover what is underneath. And I am able to add a little bit of that color and smudge it with my finger, which is going to give a softer shadow. I am able to brighten the colors or add shadows, which brings all those images more into life. I'm smudging everything with my finger, and in between colors, when I switch colors, I make sure that I wipe off the finger, because that's my tool and I need to make sure that it is clean. You can see better how this is going to bring the flowers into life, especially here where I'm using the yellow one. I think it really makes it look dimensional and more vibrant. It's as if we are playing with the contrast and the vibrancy of the page. Now these markers are quite expensive, but they last you forever since I only add just a little bit every time I use them. I have them for years and years and they never dried on me, I never had any issues. The only thing that you need to remember is to always make sure that the glue is completely dry underneath, since you don't want the tip of the marker to touch the glue. That's the only problem. Also, to do this technique, you need to make sure that you are working on a non-porous surface. So that's why I made sure that everything is sealed with that glue. The markers have Inter ink inside. If you are wondering, it's not alcohol marker and it's not acrylic paint. So it really reacts differently than other markers. That's why I'm able to do the smudging and they don't dry instantly. However, once they dry, you are not able to smudge them anymore because they will become permanent. So you can see how everything comes to life just by touching a little bit and smudging. I absolutely love that technique. I absolutely love it when I'm using ready-made ephemera because I'm able to customize them somehow and bring them more into life, adding a little bit of a shadow or details that match what I already have on my page. It kind of brings everything together. Next step to bring all those images more into life is to use a fine liner. I'm using here one by Altenew. I'm going to link it down below. And I'm just going to add some sketchy lines and define these designs even more. I'm not going to draw the perfect line all around the elements that I have placed down, just here and there where I feel like they need some shadows, which is going to help them pop against each other and pop against the background mainly, since I want my focal points to be really focal points. I don't want them to blend into the background. The next step that I always like to do is to use my white gel pen and just draw some lines, again really randomly, not perfect lines all around. I just like this look and I always recreate that. These little highlights here and there are going to bring the images more into life, and look how dimensional the center flower, the main focal point, the yellow one, looks. I absolutely love all that round, which seems like it is actually dimensional, like a donut. Anyway, let's move on to the next step and finish off the page by adding some splatters. You know that I love them and I cannot call a page done without doing that. I'm using white calligraphy ink just because it is super easy. I already have it in the jar and I don't have to dilute with water any other medium. But you can definitely do it with acrylic paint if you want. So that is the project for today. I hope that you had fun, that you got inspired. Find all the details down below in the description along with coupon codes, and here are some close-up photos on the project that I made for today. See you all next time!